Hey, what's up? Hello, it's me, Katie, and you're here for a random weekly reading vlog. Random because all the planned reading vlogs I had have swiftly fallen apart. Swiftly. So what are we doing in this reading vlog, you may ask? I have no idea. But guess what? I bet you don't know either. So we're gonna do it together and we're gonna figure it out together, okay? Let's just jump right in. So I'm trying to go on a walk, but I went outside and noticed that my brake lights were on. And I was like, what? What's happening? So I get in the car and the lights aren't on. Like, I turned everything off and I was like, did I press a button or something? Like, am I an idiot? So I don't know. I'm just so confused. Like, they won't turn off no matter what I do. Like, I've tried like making sure that the emergency brake isn't on or something like that. And I don't know what's happening. So I'm just driving my car around. And then I'm gonna park and see if they're still on, and if that will fix it somehow. I have no freaking idea. Like, I'm sure that people know the answer to this. I'm sure that there are people who are like, oh, Katie, it's this button you accidentally pressed. I have no freaking idea, but I'm so annoyed because I'm like, my battery is gonna die because the light won't go out. This day has been a challenge from front to back. So I'll let you know what happens. My car really thought it was gonna stop me, and it kind of did. But we're pushing forward anyway. Something in my car fell off. And you know what's funny is I did notice this the other day, and then I just threw the piece away because I was like, I wonder what that is, and then just threw it out. Shouldn't have done that. I should have put it back on. Didn't know where it was from. Now I do. So it's the part where, like, the brake switch, whatever. There's a part of the brake switch that's supposed to, like, when it triggers that the brake is being pressed, it fell off. So now it's like saying that the brake is always on. So I had to put my parking card between the switch and the brake pedal to keep the light off. And then tomorrow, I guess I'm gonna have to go get a new one. Love that for me. Anyway, it's getting dark outside and it's gonna rain soon, but we're going for a walk because I said I would and I'm going to, okay? Are you kidding me? Oh, like, I have to get this. I have to take this home. Oh, don't let me forget. I have to come back and get this. Is this a joke? I'll get that on my way back. Back to our current beauty. Back for this absolute gem. I got to like page 100 and something, about this far. Just not super loving it. Just not. What is this one about? Well, it's the third in the Wayward Children series, and the Wayward Children is basically where these kids find these doors to magical worlds that are perfect for them, but they're all like super effed up, And this one is following like one of the girls from the first book, her kid, who, listen, I can't even tell you because it's a huge spoiler. Anyway, it's just kind of boring. Like, it's just not that great. And I'm not a fan of the nonsense worlds. I just don't think they're that great. Like, I like the darker worlds. Like, I like the nether worlds and the underworlds and stuff like that. And the nonsense worlds are just like, I just can't wrap my head around this kind of C.S. Lewis vibe. Like, it's not for me, which makes sense because, all the worlds aren't for everybody. Like, I like the logic worlds and stuff like that and reason. So these whimsy and nonsense worlds just, they're not for me. I'm not a fan of confection. I still have like a third of the book left. I'll tell you what I think in the end, but as of right now, it's reading like a 3-star. I was randomly hit with the urge to pick this book up, and I didn't realize how small it was, so I have hope that I can finish it. But I actually don't really know what this book is about, and I've heard mixed things, so I'm not totally sure. But this whole series was sent to me by a girl named Ricky Lynn, and thank you so much if you're watching this video. And I know that I told her that I was going to do a reading vlog on this, and then I completely forgot. So I looked over at my TBR and was like, oh yeah, that book. So I'm going to pick this up. I don't know what it's about other than what the title implies. So I guess I'll get a little bit into this and then 1, tell you what it's about, and then 2, tell you if I'm even planning on reading them, because what if I hate it? I don't know. Quick turnaround of an update. We're only on chapter 1 and they're already dissecting bodies. I'm already digging it. Same day, much later, I got to page 150 and I completely forgot to pop in because I am actually really enjoying this. Nobody's more shocked than me. I gave Kingdom of the Wicked 3 stars, and this book is already so much better. Like, so much better. It's so easy to get through. Like, I'm so invested. I really, really want to know. I love the characters. I'm just, like, really digging it. I'm loving the writing style. Basically, we're following this main character who is a girl in, oh my god, what time period is this? Ooh, I'm really bad about historical stuff. It's at a time period where women had way less rights even than they do now. That's the long and the short of it. Anyway, she is apprenticing with her uncle, who's like not kind of like a morgue, Listen, it's about a girl. This girl, she's an apprentice for her uncle who works he looks at dead bodies and tells detectives things about it. Piece that together how you will. I'm clearly a great detective. I clearly pay a bunch of attention to people's titles and stuff. Anyway, LOL, that's what he does. And she's the apprentice, and they are studying the bodies of the women who were killed by Jack the Ripper and trying to find Jack the Ripper. And her uncle is being seen as someone who might be Jack the Ripper, and she is trying to prove that it's not him. And then there's this guy, Thomas Cresswell, who is helping her along with this case. And I'm sitting here if this guy ends up being Jack the Ripper, oh my god, that would be so dope. I'm sure that's not what's gonna happen. I'm sure he probably is the person. I think he's probably the person that we follow through the whole series, but what if? Anyway, yeah, I'm digging it. Same day, way later, I love it. I love it. It's like almost 3 a.m. and I can't stop reading this book. Why am I like obsessed? Why do I love it so much? I don't know. I love her. I love him. I love like they're like Sherlock and Watson. And they're so like weird. They're so weird. These characters are so weird. And I love them. And I'm having such a good time. That's all I have to say.
So this is the life hack, you guys. You bring food, leftovers from your job to your best friend's house, and then they cook for you.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, what are we making today, Grace?
We have some brisket, and we're gonna make some tacos.
Yes. I have a little, we're doing a little buttered kale here because we want to put a little greenery on it. And I have it, so we're going to use it. And then we have some diced raw red onion. We don't use yellow because we're not sickos. And then we have some jalapeno for some spice. We have some avocado. But here's the problem. So I just realized that I don't have any clean plates because we live that bachelor lifestyle. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put them on this big cutting board. We're just going to put them right here.
It's gonna be so aesthetic.
It's DIY. Little change of plans. We turned these into tostadas because I made too much toppings, which is never a problem. So this is the final. We have our little sour cream. So what we have is our little toasty tostada. We have a little brisket, little chimichurri. We have some garlic buttered kale, little onion, jalapeno, and a dollop of sour cream. Oh my god. Is this, you know what? If HGTV and Booktube and Gordon Ramsay had a baby, but they were like the third kid that didn't really get paid attention to, that would be me. Not good enough, but tries.
You're funny.
Disregard all of this. This will get fixed at some point. Okay, let's take a test.
Yes, I want like a bite of a little bit of everything. Oh, that's freaking good.
Yes?
Oh my god.
I'm happy. Oh my god. That's so good.
Freaking good, right? Oh my goodness.
Oh wait, this needs a Chuck Norris. Roundhouse. That was so delicious.
It is good.
I finished it. And I had such a good time. Like, everyone I know gives this like a 1 or a 2 star, and I'm giving it a solid 4 star. Solid 4 stars. I had so much fun reading this. Like, oh my god. I loved Audrey Rose, even though she annoyed the out of me so many times, because one big problem with this book is there's a lot of forced feminism. And I mean like shoving it down your throat, forced feminism. Like Audrey Rose is definitely a I'm not like other girls girl, and like a well, I've just got so much girl power, like nobody could ever stand in my way. And I'm like, okay, like we get it. But like one, I'm pretty sure she's like the only female in this book. Period. And the rest of them are men. So that's one of those, like, that's a problem, you know? That's you're not different just because you're the only woman. Does that make sense? Anyway, I really, really liked the fact that it was like a Sherlock and Watson vibe, but that she was the Watson, and getting a book where the main point of view is Watson was just like so cool and so interesting, and I really liked it. And I really liked Thomas Cresswell and Audrey Rose's relationship. I really loved it. I don't know. I thought that it was pretty obvious. The twist was pretty obvious in my opinion, and the ending was very it was very easy. I don't know. It's just, but I also loved it. Like, even when I knew for sure who Jack the Ripper was, I was like, I still love this. I still want to read it. Now, my problem is that I'm like, I have the next three books or like the rest of the series. And I don't know if I want to physically read them because I just like, I have other things I need to physically read and I don't think it's going to be a priority. And the Libby does not have the audios. So unless I get like gifted the audios on Libro or Audible does like a sale and I could buy them that way, I don't know when I'm going to get to the rest of the series. I would like to read them, but if this was 4 stars, I just really don't see the rest of the series being like above 4 stars. So I don't know. I really liked it. 4 stars, and that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to make some chicky nuggies, pretend like you don't see this as freezer burned, and I'm going to listen to Leave the World Behind. The chicky tendies. They are complete. Am I eating right off of the tray because I don't have any clean plates in my house? Yes. Stop judging me. Popping in to say that Leave the World Behind is a very short book, as it turns out. Very short. Also, really fast. Like, I guess the narrator talks really slow. I don't know. But I'm blowing through it. I'm basically listening to it at like 2.75 the speed and just slamming right into it. So far, I'm very confused. It's like these people are like on vacation. It's like this couple and their kids. It's very hard to kind of determine how old they are because I'm pretty sure they've said, but it's like, it's weird. It's like their kids are like teenagers, but then the couple is acting like they're like 30. And I'm like, how is your kid like 17? I mean, I guess, that's possible, but like, I don't know. Anyway, they're on vacation and it's like these people show up to their Airbnb and are like, oh, we own the house. Can we stay? And they're like, no, get out. But it's like, oh, like the wife is like, no, tell them to leave. And the husband is like, no, we need to do the right thing. Let them stay because there's like a power outage going on. So it's very weird. I'm very confused because it's like the couple who's in the house doesn't know anything. But then the couple who owns the place supposedly kind of seems like they do know something. Is this like a stranger in the house or like, is this like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I'm even trying to explain it to you because I don't know what's happening. So I'll hit you up later, but I am intrigued. This is the disaster I left in my wake from filming the video of like best friend guesses my bookish answers today. And I need to fix that. One of my string of lights is out. Wow. This day is just fantastic so far. Anyway, I need to fix that. So I'm going to do that while I listen to my audiobook. I told you that audiobook was fast, right? I told you it was short. Okay, well, I already finished it. Also, it takes me way longer to organize my bookshelf than I think you understand because I was doing it for like hours. And I love doing it, but like, it takes me so long. And now I'm about to organize my TBR and start a different audiobook. But anyway, I finished Leave the World Behind and it really had me. It had me. It had such Cabinet End of the World vibes. Like, oh my God. It also had very like recursion kind of vibes too, but like, okay, so imagine like the Cabinet End of the World had like a really unsuccessful younger brother who was like the black sheep of the family, but like not in the cool way. That would be like Leave the World Behind. It was just like, it was trying to be the Cabinet End of the World and failing miserably. The ending is so bad. Like, it really had me. Like, I was like, okay. And it doesn't have a good rating on Goodreads, but, like, neither does Bunny, and I love that book. And I'm pretty sure that The Cabinet End of the World also doesn't have a good rating. But this one has, like, a 3.3, and I was actually surprised that it had that good of a rating because I was like, the ending of the book is terrible. It makes no sense. Like, it's an open ending, and I don't have a problem with open endings. I mean, I have the problem everybody does, which is like frustration at first, and then you're like, okay. But this one was frustration of like, what was the point of reading the book? What was the point? Like, there was no ending, but there was also no point. Like, the book was just, I'm so frustrated. Like, I'm like, part of me is like, well, I was having a good time, or not a good, like, I was having like a pretty good time for like most of it until I realized the book was completely pointless at the end. It was bad. So I was like, do I give it a 3-star? A lot of people that I've seen on Goodreads give it 3 stars, and they're like, ugh. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna give it a 2. Yeah, this is a 2-star. Like, I had a little bit of fun, but at the end I was like, this book, it's bad. Period. Like, we don't really even need to get farther into it. I'm just gonna tell you across the board that it's not worth your time. All of that to say, I am going to start Her Body and Other Parties by, I don't know. I know it, but I can't think of it. Anyway, I'm gonna start that book. I don't know what it's about. It's March 16th. I'm here to say that I'm listening to Her Body and Other Parties, and I'm confused. Maybe I'm supposed to be confused because it is very like allegory. It's a lot of allegory. It's a lot of like similes. It's a lot of metaphors, or not. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, hyperbolic. I don't know what I'm saying. Are all these words making sense? No? Cool. Not to me either. It's a bunch of short stories. Did not know that going in. Honestly, didn't read the summary, so there's that. It's a lot of short stories about like the violence towards women, especially domestic violence and more so sexual violence, and how it is so rampant, and like the normal way, or the what's categorized as like normal ways that women are sexually abused. And I'm really confused. Like, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm 30% in, and I cannot decide what I feel about it, because there's times when I get it and I'm like, oh dang, that's brilliant. Like, there's a little bitty bit where she walks up and she it's like a pandemic or something, she grabs the guy's mask and like pops it. I think it was his mask, and he's like, why would you do that? And she's like, oh, it's not fun, is it? And walks away. And I was like, oh, because she's saying that he does that to her bra strap. But I might be wrong, but that's what I took it as. So that, I was like, oh, okay. But a lot of the other ones are just zoom, zip, zap, like going wide over my head. I have no freaking idea what she's talking about. So I kind of feel stupid, and I don't like when books make me feel stupid. But we're going to push on. But what I need to get done today is I need to find a place to drop off this FedEx package. I've never been to a FedEx store. And if you've been on this channel for a minute, you will know that there's been like 2 times that I have had a reading vlog where I had to do this exact same package drop off, and I gave it to the post office. And the second time I did it, someone commented and was like, like, not trying to say like you're stupid or anything, but like, why did you take that to a post office? Like, they don't accept that package. And I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. Oh my God. Luckily it wasn't that big a deal, because what this is my sensor for Dexcom, which, listen, real quick, I have diabetes. The sensor tests my blood sugar. They didn't work. Like, whenever I went to put the sensor in, it like malfunctioned and it didn't work. So I call them and tell them that, and they say, okay, well, you have to send that one back so we can like prove that it didn't work, and then we'll send you a new one. So the last 2 times, clearly they didn't get it. But this time I'm like, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I need to find a FedEx store for that. And then I also need to go to Goodwill, because I'm going to drop these things off. I really, really love this thing, and it's just not working. Like, it's just not doing its job. I don't know what's happening. These are a great idea, but this one has kicked the bucket. So I need to take this stuff to Goodwill. And then, as you would have already seen in this vlog, unfortunately, something happened with my brake light. Something like the little piece that like makes the switch for the brake light not be on all the time fell off. So I'm hopefully gonna get that fixed so that my battery doesn't drain and die. That's the hope for the day. Probably gonna pick up Duncan. Let's do it. Yes. Thank you. Yee! It's so cold outside and it's raining. Well, it's misty right now, but it is rainy. And I got iced latte because you can't stop you, girl. You can't stop me. I always forget where to turn to get out of this parking lot. Grace is doing a little spring cleaning. Oh yeah, be looking good. So guess what? I went to get my car fixed and they couldn't do it. So I had to go to the one next to Grace's house. And then she came and picked me up and took me to a house so that I wouldn't have to sit out in the most disgusting of weather. It is so very gross. But look at this plant growth. Oh, one second. Let me get a clear shot. Look at this. Is this a joke? You guys saw the one at my apartment. Bitter isn't a strong enough word for how I feel about this motherfucker. Also, little story time. So I went to the Firestone next to my apartment, like I just said, and I was in line to ask the guy, if he could switch his brake pad or brake switch or whatever the heck. And this guy behind me was like, "What car do you drive? What car do you drive? Ma'am, what car do you drive? Hello? Lady?" And I was like, "Are you okay?" No. And I'm looking at the employee and the employee looks so uncomfortable and is like looking over my shoulder. The guy's clearly talking to me. There's no one but men in this Firestone. And I'm like, I'm not looking. So I try to get the employee to like keep talking. And after a minute, like the guy keeps doing it over and over again. So I turn around and I look at him and I was like, "Excuse me?" And he said, "What car do you drive?" And I said, "Why?" And he was like, "Is that your Honda CRV?" "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I drive a Honda CRV too." I was like, "Cool." And he's like, "What color is it?" And I'm thinking, you clearly saw me get out of my car. So you know I drive a Honda CRV, for starters. And two, you know what color it is. So I don't understand why you're asking. And I was like, "Green?" He was like, "Oh, I drive a 1999 black Honda CRV." And I'm like, "Cool. Good for you." And he was like, "What do you do for a living?" And I just stared dead in his eyes for like a solid couple seconds. Like it was awkward. And all the men, there were 3 men standing behind him, were so uncomfortable. Like none of them wanted to be a hero. You know what I'm saying? And I looked this dude in the eye and I was like, "I'm not telling you that." And he said, "Good choice." Good choice? Tell me something creepier. Tell me a story that's creepier than that. What? And also what was so annoying is that before that dude had started asking like, "What car do you drive? What car do you drive?" is that at Firestone, they always ask you what your phone number is. So I'd said it out loud and now I'm like, I swear to God, if that guy remembers my phone number, no. And then I turned around, made the appointment with the guy. I was just like, "Just make it." And then he was like, said what day it was going to be. And I was never planning on actually going to that appointment because I'm like, what if the sicko tries to come back here or whatever? But by the time I turned back around, the guy's gone. What? Like, what was he doing there? He never even spoke to the employee. And I just got in my car. Like, it's like, I was like walking in my car like, "Oh, everything's cool. Like, you're whatever, bro." And then I got in my car and was like, freaking stormed away and called Grace. I was like, "I'm coming to the Firestone by your house because absolutely not." And then she came and picked me up. Like the cool bitch that she is. Anyway, that's it. My car. It has been reunited. I was so happy because the guy who was checking me out gave me a discount because he saw my insulin pump and his 10-year-old daughter got diagnosed with diabetes not that long ago. And he was asking me a bunch of questions about it. And I was trying to help him out because I was like, yeah, I want to help him out. Like, I wish that when I was younger, somebody had told me, what was up. So he gave me a discount. That was really cool. But yeah, I got, I went to get my car and they'd left their tools in there. And I was like, you might want that back. So ran that back inside. And then now I'm here with like 2 minutes to spare at a FedEx. Oh my God. So I'm going to drop off this package. And then we might be able to fit in dropping off my Goodwill donation as well. We'll see. Psych, didn't film in there. Apparently it's like a business center. So there's like a lot of people in there. I was like, no, absolutely not. So just dropped the package and ran. I forgot to tell you that I have been listening to Her Body and Other Parties. And we're talking about Law and Order SVU. I was like, okay, I'm kind of here for that. Like, that's hilarious. Like, I swear to God, it's like Olivia and Vincent, and then there's like a dun-dun that keeps happening. And of course, you know what that is. You know, if you've seen the show or whatever, but it happens. And Olivia looks at Vincent, and Vincent is like, or sorry, Stabler and Vincent. Stabler's like, you can hear that too? I was like, yes, that is so funny. I'm 57% of the way into Her Body and Other Parties, and I'm DNFing it. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to. It's like, it's good, but it's too much for me. I can't. I'm letting it go. We're DNFing it, and I'm going to pick up Beneath the Sugar Sky, which I want to DNF because I do not like this. But I want to continue with the series, and I want to finish it. I want to finish it, but I also, like, I don't want to have to read it to finish it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I finished, the book is backwards. Hey, I finished between, Katie? Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire is a book that I finished. But here's the thing. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I'm gonna give it 3 stars because the ending, if you can kind of tell, the ending really picked up in a lot of ways, and I enjoyed parts of the book, but in total, it was a huge letdown from the first 2 books. This is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series. And this might be a personal thing because there are people that on Goodreads said that this was their favorite out of the series, which, no. Like, we're just different people. I don't like confection. I already said this in the vlog, but we're following the world of confection in this, which is like a sugar land. It's a fairyland. I don't like that. I don't like the whole everything sugar and rainbows and all this. I don't like that. I want there to be vampires and werewolves and murderers and blood and murder, and like all of that is so fascinating. But this world where it's like gumdrops and like sugars are made out, our swords are made out of sugar, I just really couldn't care less, and it doesn't make any sense. Where I feel like the underworld made sense to me, where I think that there are other people in this world who are drawn to stuff like this. This would make sense, but to me, I was like, what? Oh, okay. Also, being a diabetic, this, I know this isn't going to relate to so many people, but being a diabetic, reading this, I was like, no, ew, absolutely not. I would never live there. So that's a more personal thing, but this book, in my opinion, didn't make any sense. It didn't. And like, I love Sumi, who's one of my favorite characters from the first book, and this is following her daughter, and I did not care about her daughter, like, at all. And her daughter was not even barely as good as Sumi, like, period. And you don't get any Sumi in this book, like, any Sumi, you get nothing. And I was, like, so disappointed because I was really looking forward to that. All the new characters were, like, characters that I didn't care about, and then all the characters we were following that had been in the previous stories, I also didn't care a lot about, except Cade, who is amazing. I still have In an Absent Dream, I think. Yeah, so In an Absent Dream, I still have on my TBR. I'm going to read all the books. I don't have the 5th or 6th book yet, which I am very, very desperate to get a hold of. But I'm going to continue with the books. But this one is a 3-star. The first one was a 5-star, and the second was a 4.5-star. Anyway, that's how I felt about this. Okay guys, that is going to wrap up this weekly reading vlog, and I will tell you the list of things that I read and what I rated them, because this week was not super great. Didn't have a fantastic reading week, but you know what? Happens to everybody. So the lowest rating was a DNF, and that was Her Body and Other Parties. And then I rated Leave the World Behind 2 stars. Really was not a fan. And then I also rated Beneath the Sugar Sky 2 stars. Was not a fan, did not like it, but I'm happy that I read it so I can continue with the series. And then a shocking 4 stars to Stalking Jack the Ripper. Let me know if I should continue with these and what I should do about it. Should I purchase the audios and continue with this? Because I did like the audio experience. Speaking of audios, I just now found out because Olivia gifted me an audio this last week, which you will see in a vlog coming very soon. But she gifted me an audio from Libro, and I didn't know that was a possibility. I didn't know that people could do that, and she changed my freaking life. And I'm gonna let you know right now, 1, I adore every single person that sends me absolutely any book, period, ever. I'm obsessed. But now that I know that's an option, if you want me to read a book, I don't care if I've never talked about it. I don't care if it's insanely outside my comfort zone. If you send it to me as an audiobook, I will read it. Like, will read it, and I mean like soon. It won't even be like, well, I'll get to it next month. Like, I'll read it immediately because I can pump out an audiobook in like 1 to 2 days. I'm dead ass. Like, I can. Like, I read The Stand in a week, an audio, and that is like a 45-hour audiobook or something. So I'm just saying that's an option if you want me to do it. Audiobooks are the way to go, sis. Like, I would love you forever. Anyway, we're gonna set these down so we can do a classic outro. That was loud. If you want to follow me on Goodreads or Instagram, they'll be linked down below. If you want to follow me on YouTube, you can subscribe to me. That would be freaking amazing. I would love if you would leave a comment below on what your thoughts were on these books and if you did not agree with my opinion. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing day, evening, night, dawn, whatever you're having. And I will see you soon in a video coming soon. Bye.